other people as being better or not better. Not your color, not your race, not your tribe, not your language. These things are something which we recognize and acknowledge. So you see, we come from a particular background, from a particular culture. There's nothing wrong in acknowledging that.
Yeah.
You see, many of the people, the early people, like take Bukhari for example, Imam Bukhari, he comes from that region. That's why he was called Al-Bukhari. That title was granted to him. Yes, and there are many other people who were given this particular title based on the geographic location they come from. Just to recognize them, because at that time many people are called Muhammad, you know. And if you call everyone Muhammad, to identify more individually, there's nothing wrong in taking the aid of the geographic location or the tribe you come from. Nothing wrong in that. That is you accepting your culture.
Where's the point where your culture overtakes your religious beliefs? Where's the line between that? And I feel like a lot of...
I don't think you should compare your culture and religious belief in the sense that should you be more cultural or should you be more religious? You see, your culture is something that you cannot change. It is something that you have not chosen, you're born into it.
Your religion. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, so if the culture...
Pakistani culture especially.
Okay, in that sense, yes, you're right. So if the culture is teaching you something, for example, some cultures have this caste system. So even some Muslims, yes, they have this sort of, oh, this person who's a Chaudhry cannot marry this other person who's from the same tribe or something. And this tribalism and this kind of discrimination is something that is not allowed and permitted in Islam based on that. Like I said, the only way you can distinguish someone is based on their righteousness. So you can recognize someone is more righteous than the other person, and that is the distinction you make, not because they come from a particular tribe or color or race. You discriminate them on that basis. And you're right, you know, you will face these things in culture, because obviously you are married into like it's a cross-cultural marriage. So you will have, whether you are a Muslim or a non-Muslim, you'll face this issue. Trust me, it's got nothing to do with the fact that you are a Muslim. But it's possible that some people are more understanding and they have had experience with other cultures.
It's even with their own culture,
yes,
dark and fair. I see it happen quite a lot. And it's a bit upsetting to be honest, and I feel a bit of a fear. As a black girl in London, I have experienced racism in my childhood. And then getting with an Asian guy, I've experienced racism in that level. And then to wear a hijab, I feel like living in a white area, I'm making myself even more of a target. And I know I shouldn't say that, and if Allah comes first, I shouldn't even think that way. But it is a fear I have living in London, especially with Muslims having such a bad stereotype on them. Like even my own family, they sometimes say some things that I'm shocked at the stereotype, because they hear what's on the news. I think I have a fear and I need to...
You mean you have a fear of your physical life?
And calling myself.
So are you saying that if you wear hijab in this community where you live, do you fear for your life?
I would, because I fear now even...
Are there other people in that community who do wear hijab?
Not many.
Not many?
Yeah. Where is that? It's in southeast London, in Elton. So it's Elton. It's starting to become multicultural, but you always have areas that are predominantly white, and they will never change their standpoint, and they'll always have that perception.
But you don't do it for them.
Of course not, exactly, and that's why I feel I'm at the stage where I need to learn more about Islam to really commit, because I don't want to just...
Have you ever seen or heard somebody who has been injured or harmed because they were wearing a hijab in that area where you live?
Nearby, there's been videos on YouTube and
No, in your area. Because you know sometimes it's just a fear which comes from something that you cannot explain rationally. It's a fear of a different culture. Sometimes it happens that. I'm not saying you go and put on the hijab tomorrow and try to experiment, see what happens. But if something is realistic, then obviously you have to take the correct measures and defend yourself in that from that thing happening to you. And this is something that your life is more important than anything else. Yes? So this is something that we should take as priority, your life. Because in the Quran, Allah tells us that you're even allowed and permitted to conceal or to hide or even to lie that you are a Muslim if you feel that you're going to be killed. But then the better taqwa, the more righteous, is basically to deal with that situation and to speak the truth as well. So Allah has given you both options. So if Allah Himself has given you this option that if you are in fear of your life, then you're permitted to lie. So, for example, if somebody got a gun onto your head, and they say, unless and until you renounce your faith, yes, I'm going to kill you. Yes, you see, by your tongue you can tell them, yes, I renounce my faith. But in your heart, you'll still maintain the belief in one God and believe in Allah and the Messenger. And this is something that we have been given as an option from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He's merciful. And what this shows us is that Allah says that your life is something of higher value than anything else. Yes? And this is quite important. But then your faith will remain with you regardless of whether they burn the Qurans or go about and mess up with your locality and everything. But when it comes to taking your life, then you have this option. If they have given you this option, then you take the option where your life will be saved. Yes? But then, like I said, the higher taqwa of someone who really wants to be a martyr, the other option is open as well. So yeah, I mean, sometimes, like I said, it might just be a fear. Yes, you know, many people, they had this fear before donning the hijab. But then after they wore the hijab, they found immense respect in the society. So the boys who would basically look at them in a very wrong way, they might, I don't know, somehow disrespect them and all that.
Another point. So if a woman doesn't wear hijab, in my eyes, if I was blessed with beauty, why is it a sin for me to show that beauty? Isn't it a sin upon the man for seeing me in an attractive way? Like today, I'm covered from my neck to my feet.
Yeah.
But to some Muslims, they would deem that unacceptable. On that standpoint, that's where there's a lot of things that I believe in the fundamentals, but I feel like I need to.
Yeah, because in Islam, one thing that we give high regards to is modesty. And that goes for both men and women, not just women. Okay? For us, a woman is something which is like a precious gem. So for example, if I ask you if I give you two chocolates and one chocolate is wrapped and the other chocolate is just a chocolate and I throw them on the ground, yes? I tell you to pick up one and eat, which one will you pick up? The one that is wrapped. You see, this is what Islam is, in terms, just to explain the modesty. Yes, it's not because of your beauty to conceal your beauty. What Islam is saying is that your beauty is a right for your husband to see and enjoy. It's not everyone's property that everyone can enjoy. Yes, because what happens?
Yeah, I understand, but then you buy a nice car and you wouldn't cover that up.
No, but a car is not something that is looking for modesty. Yes, a person will be jealous of a really good car if he doesn't have it. Yes, or he might desire a better car if he already has that. Yes, but a car is not something you marry. A car is not something that is real. Will be able to tell you, oh, look at the way he's whistling at me, like as if I'm some sort of object of some sort of sexual object. You see, a car cannot express this thing. You as a human being can. And this beauty of yours is for what? It's for a limited time. Yes? The beauty of both men and women, one day is going to come when you have to deal with something that maybe your wrinkles, maybe you might not be happy with your body. You see what I mean? And this is something that we all go through. So you see, Islam wants you to be respected whether you're young or old or black or white, regardless, yes, for what you are as an individual rather than just your beauty. Because that is, I think that is quite, superficial, to respect and to look at someone and to admire someone just because of beauty.
How do you choose your wife? You choose them based on their beauty as well.
Yeah, of course you do.
But then that's contradictory because let's say I covered from here and you wanted to meet me and choose me for your wife, I would have to unveil my face.
No, but you see, there's a difference between asking someone to unveil with the intention to marry them.
Do you see what I mean? It's like,
it's not double standards, it's different things.
So what, an ugly woman should never be married?
No, that's not true. Who said that?
Yeah, but then
beauty,
every guy says no based on her beauty. But shouldn't you be doing it based on the purity of their heart?
No, you heard of the saying, beauty is something which is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Yes? So maybe some people like the beauty of the character of the person rather than just the face.
You never get to know the character if you choose them based on a meeting in front of the parents.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not what Islam says. Islam doesn't just say that you only choose beautiful looking people. Yes? We are not taught that. In fact, your your religion and your character and your beauty has to be taken into consideration, not just your beauty. So all these things that we have been taught by the Prophet Muhammad 1400 years ago still stand true. You know, there are many people, unfortunately what this society has done to many women and some men as well, is that they have actually lost self-esteem. Some of them, even though they are beautiful, they go to expensive plastic surgeries, yes, just because to make the nose a bit smaller or a bit bigger or something, yes?
That's 100%.
Now you look at it, what has the society done to these people? if you look at them, some of them, they look hideous after they have grown old, you know, because now that thing doesn't fit their character because it's artificial, yes? And they go through so many different medical expenses, all these things which they could have used for themselves or their family. So this is what it is. Today, if you look at most of these fashion industries, who's leading the fashion industries today? Women or men? No, it's the men. Yes, the Gucci's, the Armani's, all these people are men mostly who run the industries. Of course, there are exceptions to that.
They set the standards of what they think beauty is.
Absolutely. Take high heels, for example. Yes, I know you're not wearing any. I look down just to, just to make sure. High heels, if you look at it logically, it's not something that is convenient or comfortable for the women to wear. Not only that, it basically harms your body, your feet, if you use it for a prolonged period. Yes? But look at it today. The women are wearing it because the fashion industry has told them that they look more sophisticated and beautiful and they look more sexy, yes, if they wear high heels and walk in a certain way. Because when you wear high heels, you walk in a certain way.